Hello students, today we will start about plant nutrition, and in this chapter we will discuss about how plant gets nutrition from different components. For example, uh, photosynthesis is a process that takes place in plants to produce their food. Photosynthesis is the process by which plants manufacture carbohydrates from the raw material using energy from the light. So this is very important reaction that take place in plants to produce food, and that's the reason plants are called as autotrophs. Actually, the word auto means actually we can say the word auto means this word is called as autotroph. So these are the autotrophs due to their that nature from which they can produce food. All living organisms need food. They need it as a source of raw material to build new cells and tissues as they grow. They also need food as a source of energy. Food is a kind of fuel that drives essential living processes and brings about chemical changes. Animals take in food, digest it, and use the digested food products to build their tissues or to produce energy. So this is the importance of the photosynthesis that take place in plants. Plants also need energy and raw material, but apart from a few insect-eating species, plants do not appear to take in food. The most likely source of their raw materials would appear to be the soil. However, experiments show that the weight gained by growing plant is far greater than the weight lost by soil it is in growing. So there must be additional source of the raw material. So we can say actually the equation is C actually 6CO2 plus 6H2O, and it will give us C6H12O6 plus 6O2 in the presence of sunlight and chlorophyll. So two things are also added, chlorophyll and sunlight. So these are the hypotheses that different essential condition for photosynthesis, water and carbon dioxide are necessary, and the chlorophyll, that is the green pigment that is present in the leaves of the plant. So we can say that is present actually in the chloroplast. So it absorbs light, and the whole reaction take place. So here we have the word equation. A chemical equation for photosynthesis could be carbon dioxide plus water, light energy. In the presence of light energy and chlorophyll, glucose and oxygen is being formed. So this is actually the general equation for photosynthesis. So here we have the next part of that chapter, and that is the symbol equation 6CO2 plus 6H2O, light energy in the presence of chlorophyll, that is a green pigment that is present inside the leaves. So glucose and oxygen is being formed, and this oxygen is actually released into environment, and after that this is used by the animals. So the process of photosynthesis is summarized here. So we can say the water is absorbed and chlorophyll, chloroplast are used, and so many things are also used. So here we have something different, that is the four different types of chlorophyll. So we can say four types of chlorophyll that may be present in various proportion in different species. There are also a number of photosynthetic pigments other than chlorophyll which may mask the color of chlorophyll even when it is present. For example, brown and red pigments that occur in certain seaweeds. So we can say plants use of photosynthetic products. We can say how plant can use its photosynthetic products, that are oxygen and that are actually the glucose. So we can say actually the glucose is either are used in metabolism or in the different types of reaction, or stored in the form of in the form of starch. Actually the glycogen is a storage form in animals, not in plants, but the starch is the storage form in plants as well. So we can say glucose can be the product of photosynthesis, that is glucose. It is used for storage as a starch or as the cellulose as that is present in the cell wall of the plant cells. And the third one is the sucrose, that is the transport form of the sugar. And so many lot of things like fat or proteins or amino acids can also be formed from the glucose, that is a product of the photosynthesis. And the other product, that is oxygen, that is used in the respiration that occur in plant during day and night as well. So the plants use the photosynthetic products. So I have given you the quick review about all the products glucose molecule produced by photosynthesis are quickly built up into starch molecule and added to the growing starch granule in the chloroplast. If glucose concentration was allowed to increase in the mesophyll cells of the leaf, it could disturb the osmotic balance. Starch is relatively insoluble, so does not alter the osmotic potential. Starch is steadily broken down to sucrose, and this is soluble. And actually, the transport form of sugar is sucrose, and the storage form of sugar is called as starch. So we can say the respiration, the oxygen that is produced in the photosynthesis is used in the respiration. Sugar can be used to produce energy. It is oxidized by respiration to carbon dioxide and water, and the energy released is used to drive other chemical reactions such as the building up of protein. And the storage sugar that is not needed for respiration is turned into starch and stored. Some plants store it as a starch grains in the cells of their stems or roots. Other plants such as the potato or the parsnip have special storage organs or tubers for holding the reserves of starch. Sugar may be stored in the fruits of some plants. Grapes, for example, contain large amount of glucose. So we can say the synthesis of other compound, that is from glucose, can be changed into amino acids or the fats, as well as sugars for energy and starch. For storage, the plants need cellulose for its cell wall, lipids for its cell membrane, protein for its cytoplasm and pigments, its flower petals. All these substances are built up, synthesized from sugar molecule and other molecule produced in the photosynthesis. So this is all about the photosynthesis and the other components, like how carbohydrates or the glucose can be converted into the proteins or the lipids. So actually we know so many components like sulfur, nitrogen in the form of nitrates and nitrites is given or the taken up by the plant from the root actually. So this is the pathway from which the nitrogen and the sulfur can be combined in the cellulose or the carbohydrate to form lipids and proteins. So by joining the hundred of glucose molecule together, the long chain molecule of cellulose are built up and added to the cell wall. Amino acids are made up by combining nitrogen with the sugar molecule, the smaller carbohydrate molecule. These amino acids are then joined together to make the proteins that form the enzymes and the cytoplasm of the cell. Nitrogen for this synthesis come from nitrates, which are absorbed from the soil by the roots. So many other plants, so many other components can be developed or the can be taken up by plant from the like the sulfur is also the component of so many amino acid to form the proteins. Some protein also need sulfur molecule, and these are absorbed from the soil in the form of sulfates. Phosphorus is needed for DNA, and for reaction involving energy release, it is taken up as the phosphate. Chlorophyll molecule need magnesium ion. This metallic ion is obtained from the salts in the soil, because if the magnesium is deficient in the diet of the plant or in the soil, so the leaves will be changed into green, into the yellow or brown or the in another color without green. Many other elements such as iron, manganese, boron also needed in very small quantities for healthy growth. These are often referred to as the trace elements. So these are the elements that are required for the photosynthesis. So here we have the gaseous exchange in the plant. Actually, the gaseous exchange in the plant is a very important phenomena. Actually, at the daytime, when there is a rate of photosynthesis is greater and the rate of respiration is lower, although the respiration is taking place day and night as well, but at the daytime when there is more rate of photosynthesis and the less rate of rate of respiration, so oxygen is produced more and glucose is formed more, and this oxygen is being used in the respiration that is occurring by the plant. But more due to the more rate of photosynthesis, the more oxygen will be produced than that is used in the respiration. So the extra oxygen will be moved into the environment, and so many animals can use it. And at the night time the reverse is happening. For example, the respiration is taking place, and and the photosynthesis is negligible at the night time. So we can say carbon dioxide is being produced more, and the carbon dioxide is being released at the night time. So that is a myth behind we should not sleep at night under the tree, because trees are also secreting the carbon dioxide, and the human beings or the animals are also being secreted with the carbon dioxide. So suffocation or asphyxia, or we can say, simply we can say asphyxia or the suffocation may happen. So the gas exchange is all about that. I have told you about all this phenomena, so I have to read for you guys, and after that, after the end of this lecture, I will discuss about the compensation point. Actually, what is compensation point? It is very easy. So let's start with the reading of the gases exchange in plants. Air contains the gases nitrogen, oxygen, carbon dioxide, and water vapors. Plants and animals take in or give out these three gases, and this process is called the gaseous exchange. You can see from the equation for photosynthesis that one of its products is the oxygen. Therefore, in the daylight, when photosynthesis is going on in the green plants, they will be taking in carbon dioxide and giving out oxygen. This exchange of gases is the opposite of that resulting from the respiration. But it must not be thought that the green plant do not respire. The energy, the need for all their living process apart from photosynthesis come from respiration, and this is going on all the time using up oxygen and producing carbon dioxide. During the daylight hours, plants are photosynthesizing as well as respiring, so that all the carbon dioxide produced by respiration is used up. So at the same time, all the oxygen needed for respiration is provided by photosynthesis. Only when the rate of photosynthesis is faster than the rate of respiration will carbon dioxide be taken in and excess oxygen given out. So here we have the very simple summary. In the darkness, oxygen is being used in the respiration and carbon dioxide being released because no photosynthesis, and the dim light, oxygen is given by the photosynthesis, and carbon dioxide is used in the photosynthesis. Rates of respiration and photosynthesis equal, no exchange of gases. Actually, this point, this dim light point is actually our compensation point. That is our next topic. In the bright light, of course, there will be more photosynthesis and more oxygen will be given out, and carbon dioxide will be used. So here the compensation point actually at the dawn and the dusk. At the dawn and dusk, these two times are actually when there is not too much heat or light of the plant of the sun, and when there is no too much darkness. So at these times actually, uh, the rate of photosynthesis and the rate of respirations are ideally equal, and there is no net gas exchange between the environment and the plant. So this point is actually called as the compensation point, when the rate of photosynthesis and rate of respiration becomes equal, no gas exchange at the dawn and the dusk. So this is the all about compensation point. Let's start reading to make it easy for you guys. As the light intensity increases during the morning and fades during the evening, there will be a time when the rate of photosynthesis exactly matches the rate of respiration. At this point, there will be no net intake or output of the carbon dioxide or oxygen. This is the compensation point. The sugar produced by the photosynthesis exactly compensates for sugar broken down of the respiration. So this was all about today's lecture. Kindly subscribe my YouTube channel, and for the further very important and very informative and very extensive videos, and press the bell icon to watch my more and more videos and share with friends. Thank you.